Happy Wednesday and welcome to a closer look. And this is a special closer look because it's not just me here. I have some friends today.
Hi, my name is Lindsay. Really happy to be here. Big listener of the pod. Know almost every episode.
Almost every episode. Wow.
Yeah, there are a couple I've forgotten over the year.
Some we choose to forget, yeah.
Yeah. We all have favorite children.
We do.
Sure. Although that changes a lot, to be fair.
It's a closer look with all of us today.
Yay!
Woohoo!
We were so passionate about something that we did that we decided it deserved its own episode as opposed to the banter that usually begins ours.
We went to the Queen Mary.
2-hour haunted tour full of facts, ghosts, murder, darkness, screams.
We're just doing word association and lots of wood.
bit, yeah.
Wood everywhere.
Wood and
Water.
water. Ship.
Full moon. Was it a full moon? I don't remember. No, it was almost a full moon.
Almost a full moon.
It was almost a full moon, which is unfortunate. We should have gone the next day, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I will say it's usually a full moon when I fly back to New York. I cannot explain it, but the amount of times I've seen a supermoon from the plane window on my red eye is countable.
And have you taken pictures?
Sometimes.
She lives in the moment.
I definitely have
love
taken
that.
pictures, but my phone does not capture moons well. I don't know if anyone else struggles with this.
I've gotten better.
Yeah.
I think the moon is like the Bigfoot of the sky. I feel like every photo is incredibly grainy. You're like, no, I swear it was huge. And everyone's
100%.
Yeah, okay.
It is the Bigfoot of the sky.
I also feel
I
like the
love her so
sky
much.
is kind of the Bigfoot of the sky as well, in that every time I
little
take a
bit.
picture of a sunset, I have to turn
Yeah.
the saturation up to be like, this is what I saw. I saw this. And then I take a picture and I'm like, okay, it looks so normal. But when I'm telling you it was life-changing, it was life-changing.
Yeah. It never does it justice.
It was like a painting in front of me, not this shit on my phone.
And you know what? What maybe shares that similarity is our time at the Queen Mary, where
I was going to say, ladies, focus. It's a closer look.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the tour. So we went on a Sunday night. It was slightly unfortunate because the Queen Mary does this essentially Halloween maze carnival thing called Dark Harbor. So that was going on while we went to the ship. So it did interfere a little bit with ambiance and, people would be screaming and you'd hear bangs and you want to believe it's a ghost, but it truly is just the teenagers getting scared down the hall.
depends on the ambiance you want, okay? I love
that's so
techno
true.
music coming from the outside.
Those lasers on that old-timey ship.
I didn't realize that they did mazes on the ship as well.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. I would love to go do that one time. But it definitely did feel like a little bit of a hard thing to feel if it was ghosts or just maze. There was a live photo that I had that I heard noises and I was like, that could have been a maze. I don't know.
Can never
I
know.
guess you have to go back.
That being said, there were a lot of really spooky, quiet places that we went on the ship. I have to say that tour took us everywhere. We got to see all sorts of spots that are usually closed off. So that was incredible.
Yeah.
And many of them were dark and silent and spooky. You could not hear the screams. You could only hear the screams in your head.
Oh, God.
From your brain being like, oh my God, I'm unsettled.
True.
Yeah, there was that one, I forget if it was at the bow or the helm of the ship, but it was the pointy part where the ships ran into each other.
Yeah.
And it was pitch black in this spot. And everyone was taking flash photos and it'd be so jarring to see nothing and then see just a flash of light. And me, and I'm sure all of us were like, are we going to see something next flash of light? What's happening?
It was a weird feeling in that specific area too. It was so unsettling. The entire time I felt like there was something there watching.
Yeah, leaving that area as well was very unsettling because you're like, when you're a kid and you have to turn out the lights in the basement, that's what it felt like because we stayed late in that area and it was strange. And you turn off the lights and then you run.
Yeah.
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 And your sibling, of course, like, is running after you. So that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
I was like the last person up the stairs, like going up, and I had strangers in front of me because I think we got separated for some reason. And I literally wanted to be like, can you walk faster? I hate the feeling that there is no one behind me, but it feels like there's someone behind me.
Yeah.
So
creepy.
I think maybe before we go room by room, should we give kind of some context? I know we did a whole episode on the Queen Mary, so I suppose if you don't know all the context you want and you're unsatiated by the little we give here, you have a whole episode that you can go back to. And I think that was about 3 episodes ago. It's very good. But just for context, the Queen Mary is one of the most haunted places in the world. It was an original steamliner ship built, I believe, in the 1930s. And then used during the World Wars as more of a warship, and then went back to being a passenger liner until the air travel took off, and a lot of these shipping companies got put out of business. And the Queen Mary was auctioned off to Long Beach, California for how many millions of dollars?
A lot.
A lot.
But like a lot for the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to say 30 mil.
I was going to say 33.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Very cool, Long Beach.
I'm so happy she's so close.
I know.
Yeah.
That was a great summary.
That's great. Yeah.
Are you reading something or that was off the noggin?
That was off the noggin. I just really appreciated our tour guide.
Our tour guide was great, and I feel like such
Yeah.
a dick for not remembering his name.
Jason? Jared.
Was it? I kept wanting to call him Nate.
He looks like a Nate. I think it was Jared. Because I remember saying it out loud a few times to myself, so I would remember, and then I didn't. There's a lot going on, ghosts. But I think it was Jared.
Okay.
He was great.
Shout out, Jared. Thank you. You were a
Jared
great tour
knew
guide.
all of the history. Jared was I hope it's Jared. Jared was a
is now.
skeptic through and through, and yet kept giving these tiny tidbits as we went of all of the strange stories he had heard from guests at the ship. The ship is still a working hotel. You can stay there. So he's heard haunted stories from guests. He said about 10 people leave a year on the staff because of all of the creepiness. And he has never had a personal experience, but he did share with us a very dubious photo that seems haunted to me. So
Yeah, there's
Definitely.
a cool fact that I learned about the Queen Mary that we all learned is that the ship has an incline to it. And so first class would be in the middle where it's most stable, second class towards the back, and then third in the front, and because it'd be uncomfortable as a ride. And so because it was so, hard to not be thrown around in third class, there was a staircase that had several deaths on it because people would fall down those stairs. And so he had taken a photo when the stairs were empty, so he says. And on it was a dark figure that sort of just felt like it was looking at
Yeah.
Jared, Jason, Nate.
this is horrible.
So
It was spooky. And not only was there like a all black figure at the top of the stairs, in the corner where the elevator is, there was like another black figure that like looked like it was forming out of the elevator.
Yeah.
It was cool.
the out of service elevators, by the way.
Yeah.
I have a picture of his picture that we can post on social media.
Yeah,
for
I
you
don't
all
think
to
he'd
see, 'cause
mind.
It was definitely eerie.
Well, what was really cool about the tour too is that when you get a ticket for the tour, you can also wander the ship on your own.
Yeah.
So they have this lobby area that was like kind of the waiting area, but they had a merch shop, which was really fun. But they also had a lot of like historical pieces in it. So there was like a menu from a first class dining experience and all of these other really cool things inside glass that you could see.
Oh my gosh, my favorite was the Jolly Boys.
Yeah.
They're like a little stuffed boy doll in a sailor uniform. And I guess like people back in the day when they would go on a ship, they would collect these dolls because they were embroidered with the name of the ship on them. So they had a Queen Mary Jolly Boy on display, which is so cool.
cool.
So awesome.
That is one of the most well-preserved old places I've been. And it's a very unique era. Like, you walk in, the entire thing is wood, paneling, mahogany, gorgeous flooring, and you feel like you're in another time. So that lobby that they're talking about had all these adorable little kiosks as well, like perfectly preserved bent wood, kind of like Diagon Alley vibes. That's all I can say. And so there was like a little vintage candy store and a vintage bookstore. And it was, what a jolly place to begin before getting spooked.
So the first place that we went to on the tour is the Grand Ballroom. I don't know if that's the official title, but that's how I feel about it. And it was this...
I think it was like the first class,
Yes.
like hall,
Yeah.
banquet hall,
The dance hall, music hall.
The Grand Hall.
The Grand
Yeah,
Hall.
it definitely was for like upper echelons of society.
Yeah.
It wasn't like for your average Joe to go in.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It had carpeting. I think the only thing that wasn't original was the flooring, he said. But the stage was, and the piano, I think maybe was.
Those pianos
and they
were
had-
super old everywhere on the ship.
Yeah.
It was really special.
So old. Yeah, Lindsay, being a pianist and a music lover and creator, sat at all of these pianos, and we have a ton of photos of her just like behind these old timey pianos, trying them out for herself. I love it. I
Trying to
love it so
feel
much.
the energy, the musical energy of whoever was in there. I thought maybe the famous ghost in that room specifically, the lady in white, who we talked about on the other Queen Mary episode, who loves to dance around the ballroom. I thought maybe we'd summon her with a little, like,
Yeah.
music.
Oh, I wish.
I have a really cute picture of you two like twirling around in the ballroom. It's adorable.
Wait, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't do a picture exchange.
We didn't.
We'll do that.
One day.
We just kept sending photos to each other where we thought maybe there was a ghost. We were like, this one?
Thought.
No, not thought. Not trying to spoil anything here. We've got some dubious pictures.
Yeah.
Some very, very dubious pictures. But I just mean those were the only photos that were exchanged, not the cute ones.
Fair. Oh yeah, that's true.
Correct. Next, we walked like through the deck and then up like 3 floors to where like the captain's room is, I guess. And it had a bunch of old-timey steering things that would get sent to the engine room where they could pull a lever and it would say like full steam ahead or slow down. And that was how the engine room would know what to do based on what the captain tells them. It was awesome.
I think my favorite thing about this whole experience was like you can touch these things. It's, you know, like I go to a museum and I like desperately want to hold, you know, touch the furniture, like do whatever. I have a very big thing about like putting my hands where history was. And you can't do that at museums, so don't do that. But here you can. And it was so spectacular. So like touch the deck.
And we got to like
Yes.
move all of that stuff.
Yeah, like steer the wheel level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say that to me it was like so nerdy, mind-blowing to think that like nowadays, right, if you have a dial and you're moving the dial to say full steam ahead or forward or whatever, it's like digital, right? Like computers are handling that. To think that it was literally like you pull the dial to say full steam ahead and all it did was send the signal down to the engine room where all these guys are working. They see the signal and they're like, gotta throw more wood or coal or whatever into the fire. I just thought that was really, it was cool. You can see like the early form of computing and programming in there.
Yeah.
So sick.
And there were some creepy areas, I will also say, up where sort of the captain's quarter and there was a first mate's quarter up there by the steering wheels and stuff. And those were some creepy areas. Allegedly, there's a ghost of a captain who died on the ship. There's a ghost of a first mate, or what was his deal?
Yeah.
The first mate.
Yeah, mate who accidentally drank cleaning fluid. R.I.P.
Which he was fine from, but then he didn't obey the doctor's orders to not drink and not have a big meal. And he said, fuck you, the captain wants to party with me. I'm going to go party with the captain.
Yeah.
And then he died.
Yeah. So there was that. Still sad. R.I.P. for real.
Yeah, but I'm also like, bro.
Like, come on.
No, totally.
Preventable.
I will say I had a little spooky occurrence in there with Sammy where we were walking in this pitch black area. Jesse has a funny photo of us looking like the Shining Twins there. But I heard this really loud noise coming from the pitch black area, and I figured someone else was just in that room. So I walked in, no one was in that room.
I walked in from the other
Yeah.
side, and I also heard that.
So no
And there was
real
no one else in that
explanation for
room.
that. Yeah. No, we both walked towards the sound, and the
Yeah.
sound, it was just a pitch black nothingness. Nothing was going on.
Spooky.
Also spooky because that was at the time that Jared was like, okay, let's leave the room. So most everyone was out.
Yeah.
And I stayed back to find you two because I was like, I don't get locked in here.
Yeah.
And that's when I took the photo. But it was after you guys had met up to be like, what was that sound?
Yes. And we weren't near the mazes at that point. Like, this
No,
was
no.
top of ship, not near any of that.
No.
So it couldn't have been like maybe that was a maze.
Yeah, no. I will say also in that area, that is where I got, in my opinion, my spookiest picture. Because once we had climbed those stairs, I actually did get my first feeling of like strange energy. And it was also because the ship rocks. So you get these like weird feelings every once in a while of being unmoored. And I had to remind myself that was probably also the water. But I did have one weird feeling. So I took a picture exactly where I was into the glass, and it was into this area. And there is a weird shadow behind me. I will post that one. So that's cool. But to me, it was funny because the shadow kind of looked like a Victorian woman. And I was like, that's not the outfits that we would have been wearing on the Queen Mary. So, and I know no one on the tour was dressed as a Victorian woman either. So who knows?
Can confirm.
Well, there was that one girl. No, I'm just kidding.
And that's when we went to the back of the ship and looked down.
Don't do that. It was so scary. I like looked over the edge and then was like, how the fuck did we get up so high?
It was so high.
I had no idea. We were so high up.
Because you take an elevator up to get onto the ship.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're registering that you're going high up.
Yeah, for real.
It's just like you're on the ground and then now
Yeah.
you're on a ship. Same level. No.
Horrifying. Yeah. I think that's where I took my photo.
Yeah.
So I took a photo with the front of the ship behind me. And I was looking at the building. So like there was nothing behind me. No building, no nothing. Except the front of the ship. And it was this front of the building with all these windows. And so I just took a photo of it because I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. How nice. Looking back at all the photos, I obviously zoomed into every one of those windows. And in one of them is the outline of a woman with her mouth open. Kind of to me looks like she's like screaming a little bit. And when I saw that, my body did that hot freeze thing where you just like know that it's not something of the world. And then what's even creepier is I told my boyfriend about this and I explained it to him prior, and then I showed him the photo and he was like, my coworker has that exact same picture except there's a ghost coming down the stairs.
So weird. We have to see that photo.
I know. She has to send it to him. Ooh.
Yeah, it is creepy.
We'll put
sure.
that on the Instagram for sure.
Yeah.
I do think if I worked at the Queen Mary, I would put ghost things in the windows.
I agree, which is why, weirdly enough, Sammy and I are going back tonight for a concert. So we will look and see.
Yeah, we're going to take more photos at that spot for sure.
Yeah, I'm not accusing, by the way, of that being what you captured. I'm just saying, as a funny little prank, I would totally do it
Yeah.
and have the amount of people who would be like, what is this figure? I'd be like, that's my little cutout of like Zac Efron.
Well, it's weird too because I had brought like a little tiny mini camera for the fun of it, and I took a photo in that exact spot at the same time that you did. And in that exact window, there's like a little bit of a shape, but it's the mini camera is so grainy that it was like, it's just a shape. But like it was weird that it was the exact same window.
Weird.
I know.
I haven't seen any mini camera photos, so we're gonna have to share.
They are
either.
good. They're cute. The one of you guys twirling is from mini camera. It's really cute. They're so grainy that anything that looks like anything is like, oh, it's the graininess. But they are fun photos.
What you captured, Jesse, because I think that was the veranda grill, right?
Yes.
There was a fun story that I don't think we told on our Queen Mary podcast, which is allegedly there is a ghost of Winston Churchill on the Queen Mary. And I was kind of mind blown by that, but apparently he took the Queen Mary a couple times It was a very luxury ocean liner going from London to New York. And there is a hotel room where he stayed that people smell cigar smoke in. And they also, I think one woman who cleans the ship, if I recall correctly, went into that room one night and there was a man smoking a cigar who kind of looked like him. And she asked him to put the cigar out because there's no smoking on the ship. And he like kind of smiled and vanished.
So cool.
And he loved the Veranda Grill. That's why I bring it up, because apparently they've also cited him in the Veranda Grill.
Yes.
So maybe you caught Winston.
Winston? He looks like a screaming woman.
The spookiest part of the ship to me was the bowels of the ship when we went down into
Is it really
the
bowels?
isolation quarters. That's where I think all of us, well, there were two areas once we were down in that lower area with no windows where all of us had very strange like feelings and thoughts. And
the minute we walked through the like doorway going down, it was like a wave hits you of energy.
Very
it was
sickening.
Wild.
Yeah.
And then you go straight to the isolation chambers where there's this one corner that I went to go take a photo of. And I don't really know exactly what the corner was, but Lindsay was already in there. And the minute I walk in, I was filming, and the minute I walk in, I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I literally went, whoa. And then you feel so nauseous, so lightheaded. It was...
Our shoulders felt like they were being like clenched.
Yeah.
You know?
I am not a nauseous girl, and in that area specifically, what you're talking about, Sammy, I felt like stuck in there, and I was getting such a weird stomach ache. It was crazy. And I'm like, maybe like to be the skeptic, right? It could have been the air, it could have been any number of things,
100%.
but like that was a weird place. And just for context, people, those isolation quarters is where they quarantined sick people, and also where they took stowaways on the ship. So they would put the stowaways with the sick people, and it was not a great time for any of them. I believe soldiers were also isolated there during the war. Lots of soldiers died. Lots of passengers passed away. And also, I know at least 2 stowaways ended up unaliving themselves, if I'm correct. Yeah. So crazy dark energy there.
But it was a weird thing of the minute we left that area, it was like, oh, I can breathe again. So it was very odd that it was just specifically that area versus any time we were in lower depths or something like that. Because the only other time I felt like that was the rope room, which is the one that we were talking about earlier. But it was weird.
And the rope room, which is also down at the depth, like Jesse said, it is the literal front of the ship. It's pitch dark. It's where the point of the ship exists, which is why it hit and killed like 300 people on another ship. I don't remember in what year, but very dark energy there. They said that that's where a lot of sightings happen. And something that I thought was really interesting from the tour guide is he said a lot of women experience getting their hair pulled or feeling tugged at. And he was hypothesizing it was because the all-male crew was shocked to see women in there. But yeah, that was the other area with really dark energy, I would say.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm still stuck on the bowels of the ship.
Still.
Why do we call it that? That's horrible.
Well,
I know why. I get it. I just honestly have not stopped thinking about it.
you're just not in support of it.
I just think it's a rather crass way to mention a part of a ship.
The lower half, the
Well,
decks.
maybe that's
the
just
bottom.
sailors' lingo for you.
Under.
Well, it definitely is.
The bowels of the ship.
And sailors were pretty crass, so
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense.
I did whistle on the ship. Sammy and Jesse both called me out. It was so funny because I did make very clear in the Flying Dutchman episode that you're not supposed to whistle on ships, and broke my own rules there.
Frickin' Lindsay.
And it was like immediate.
It just felt so right.
Don't do that. If we've learned one thing from this podcast is don't ever whistle.
Ever.
I
Ever.
know. In any
Not in the
situation.
woods. Nowhere. I will say I was really excited to see the swimming pool, the first class swimming pool. And because it is essentially falling apart, we were not allowed to go in it.
Yeah.
It
Very
did break
sad.
my heart because I just was so pumped to see it and it looks so beautiful. but that's only for the graveyard tour. Yeah. So I think we do have to go back and do that.
That's what I was saying. We gotta go back at 12 to something time.
Why don't you two just do it tonight?
So
we have to do it all together.
Yeah.
No, I'm giving you permission, you know.
No.
I have to be at work so early the next day. I can't.
Well, the other thing is, I wouldn't want to sleep on that ship, but if you do a 12 to 2, I think you really got to sleep on that ship.
I mean, there were other hotels in Long Beach.
I guess. That's true.
And there is that one very, very haunted room that people, are fighting to sleep in. Can't relate.
Yeah, which is bananas.
Yeah.
Literally, there's brawls on the ship.
Yeah. We saw people constantly fighting. No, the closest it got to a brawl was I Got Jesse Good.
And I got it on video.
I don't like that. I had to defend myself against the ghost that grumbled in my ear. It's not my fault the ghost was you.
Just to be clear, again, if you didn't listen to the Queen Mary episode, there's a famous ghost on the Queen Mary called Grumpy, which was actually, he was not mentioned in our tour, so I was so glad we knew about him beforehand, who growls in people's ears. I think that's hilarious. Feels very easy to emulate. And we all were doing it the whole night with each other, with laughter. But I did really get Jesse.
Well, to be fair, it was after the tour,
Yes.
we were walking through the hallways alone.
Yeah.
We were trying to find our way back because the ship is very confusing. And our tour guide did not direct us in the way to get back to the lobby.
I kind of like that though, because it was
I love
find
it.
your way.
He was bye. So we were just walking for ages.
And it was the haunted hotel room hallways.
Yeah. And I was I think we just passed the Winston Churchill suite. And so I was looking at that. And then I hear in my ear. And so I had a water bottle and I was like, no!
It was so good.
So glad you were recording at that moment, Sammy. I loved playing that back. That's so good.
It was very fun. Go to our Instagram to see Jesse getting scared by Lindsay.
Look, it's a spooky place. Everyone was on edge. Ghosts abound. Everywhere we went, there was allegedly a different ghost. And I think it's because the wood holds memories. Because they probably cut down a giant forest of trees for that ship.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But yeah, true.
But it's gorgeous.
But it's stunning. And you all should go. It was honestly so worth it. So worth the time, the money, everything.
Yeah, it was
so great.
Cool. It really was.
And thank you, Queen Mary, for having us. That was awesome. You're doing some good work, obviously. I don't need to tell you that. Never mind. Take this out.
No, they are, though.
Anyway. Anything else, ladies?
Well, I'm just excited for you two to go back tonight and get a second crack at it.
I know. I'm really excited. Hopefully they'll let us walk around. I don't know. I'm sure they would.
I'm sure.
Yeah, we're there for an event.
I feel like that's a perk to going to an event on the Queen Mary is hopefully they let you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I meant to say that my dad was I think that my cousin got married on the Queen Mary.
What?
And I didn't fact check before this episode, but he was kind of adamant. He's is there another old ship in California near LA that's from the 30s or whatever? And I was that's a hotel? And I was I don't think so.
Probably not.
Whoa.
Maybe. Yeah, so
Whoa. I didn't know you could do that.
I mean, they seem to host a lot of events and stuff, so I would imagine. And if you know anyone,
I would assume maybe where all the fairy lights were above.
on the deck.
Yeah.
Aww.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got to follow up. We got to see some photos.
I'll definitely follow
hear some
up.
stories.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I got to know if they got haunted.
And or if they stayed at the hotel wedding night.
Oh my gosh.
Room
Something for everyone.
B340 honeymoon suite.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's too good.
That's
To each
awesome.
their own, folks.
To each their own.
If you have been to the Queen Mary, if you've ever had any experiences there, please write into ladieswholurepod@gmail.com and share what you know.
Yeah.
And if you have any photos,
Yes.
we want to see them. Or
Yes.
videos.
Yeah, that would be so fun. Oh my God. Well, we're compiling stories right now for a longer listener lore episode. So now's the time to send those stories in. You'll be featured on the pod.
Doesn't have to be Queen Mary related either. It could be any type of lore.
Oh, that's true. We want to hear it all. We want to live it all with you. And next week, is next week Thanksgiving?
Whoa.
Wow. Well, we're preemptively thankful for you.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week with a very thankful episode.
Maybe.
I feel like I sound like every department store ever around the
Yeah.
holidays.
Yeah. Like right before closing time.
Yeah. Don't be a turkey. Dive into thankfulness this year
Oh, God.
with a cornucopia of deals.
Wow.
You're in the wrong business.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, no, just to be clear, no special Thanksgiving episode. Horror.
Oh, yeah. No, I just mean that we will be extra thankful on that day. But we will scare
by
the living
that,
daylights
yeah.
out of you.
Yeah. We're thankful for you being there so we can scare you.
You're welcome.
We love you. Thanks for listening, as always.
Yeah, thanks for luring with us.
Have a very happy
Should we
Wednesday.
sing?
Oh, yeah, happy Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We hope you like this closer look. It was so fun to do a closer look with you ladies.
No.
Aw.
It's like we're all in the
maybe we
void
could do
together.
Aw.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to be there with anyone
Hold on.
else.
That's too sweet.
Yeah, should we sing?
Yeah. Should we sing in the way of Grumpy, aka Lindsay, trying to scare
Yeah.
you?
And why don't you wait
Or
till the
anyone.
end, Jesse, to scream?
Okay. Sounds good. Actually, I won't sing. I'll pretend that
You're
I'm looking
walking
at
away. Yeah,
just-
at rooms.
Do you have water? Do you or a water bottle or some sort of weapon?
I
that
have
you
my
can-
coffee mug. There's no coffee in it
good.
anymore.
Okay.
All right, let's get her. 3, 2, 1. Lady to Lord! Good job, Jesse. I think we
10 out of
scared her
10.
authentically.
I think we got her.
Oh, we got her.
She was so spooked. Did you see her face?
I dropped my AirPod.